Welcome to Week in Minutes. Have a nice day. Starting the newspaper with the world news, including one killed in Kiev region as Russia steps up attacks after peace talks with it says Ukraine. Watch moment when Mexican Navy's a training ship crashed into Brooklyn Bridge. Portugal heads to poll in third election in 3 years. Pope Leo Putin set up for a papal inauguration as world leaders gather at Vatican. US FDA approves a Novavax COVID-19 vaccine with the new conditions. Mexican Navy training ship hits Brooklyn Bridge in New York, several injured. Hamas proposes to release more hostages under the new Gaza ceasefire deal aimed at Israel's offensive. At least one dead, five injured after a car explodes outside fertility clinic in California's Palm Springs. Hundreds of Rwandans who fled to Congo after 1994 genocide return in United Nations repatriation. Mexico child and Uruguay halt poultry imports from Brazil after the bird flu outbreak. Walz calls Trump a tyrant who is trampling Americans' rights and violating the rule of law. Several fatalities after two civilian helicopters collide a crash in Finland, police said. Briefly from the Hindu newspaper, we have member states pledge troops and support to United Nations peacekeeping missions at Berlin Ministerial. The Ministerial comes at a time when the world body is undergoing a major internal restructuring, facing major funding cuts by United States and Europe's increase in military spending. United States Secretary General Antonio Guterres, German Foreign Minister John Wedpol, and German Defense Minister Boris Pistorius attend a press conference during the United Nations peacekeeping ministerial and international conference on peacekeeping missions in Berlin, Germany, May 14, 2025. India, one of the largest troop contributors to United Nations peacekeeping UNPK missions, had pledged one quick reaction force (QRF) company, one male armored police, Central Reserve Police Force, or a mixed armored police, CRPF, one woman-led police unit, one counter-explosive ordnance disposal unit, EOD unit, one K9 unit, and SWAT police unit at the United Nations peacekeeping ministerial that concluded in Berlin on May 14. In addition to uniformed capabilities, India has also pledged peacekeeping training, capacity building, and partnership, which include a United Nations pre-development training of trainers, a course, a United Nations military observer, a course, a United Nations contingent commanders, course, a United Nations female military officers, course, and international courses by UNCI. VPOL, United Nations Civilian Police Component Center. According to a list of commitments made by the various countries put up on the UNPK website as of May 14, which are yet to be confirmed by member states, India has offered training for a long time and has also teamed up with the United States to offer peacekeeping training to African countries. Arab leaders promised to work on a reconstruction of Gaza and again press for a ceasefire. Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, whose country is one of the main mediators in Gaza peace talks, described Israel's action as systematic crimes aimed at obliterating and annihilating the Palestinians. Arab leaders posed for a group photo on the day of the 34th Arab League Summit in Baghdad, Iraq on May 17, 2025. Arab leaders at a summit in Baghdad called on Saturday, May 17, 2025, for an immediate end to the war in the Gaza, accusing Israel in the starker language of trying to drive the Palestinians out of the enclave altogether after it ramped up its bombing campaign. Arab leaders were trying to reach a ceasefire between the Israel and Hamas in the Gaza Strip and promised to contribute to the reconstruction of the territory once the war stops. Arab leaders call for ceasefire. Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, whose country is one of the main mediators in Gaza peace talks, described Israel's action as a systematic crime and once again aimed at obliterating and annihilating the Palestinians and ending their existence in the Gaza Strip. Iraqi Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani, the summit's host, said Israel was engaged in genocide. PSLV C61 EOS 9 mission 09 mission could not be accomplished. Indian Space Research Organization. The rocket encountered some anomaly in its third stage, the ISRO chief said. PSLV C61 mission was not accomplished after it encountered an anomaly in the third stage. It lifted off successfully initially. The Indian Space Research Organization ISRO could not accomplish its 101st launch, the PSLV C61 EOS 09 mission on Saturday, May 18, 2025. Minutes after a PSLV C61 with the EOS 09 Earth observation satellite lifted off from the Stagetown Space Center in Sriharikota at 5:59 a.m., the space agency said that the mission could not be accomplished due to an observation in the third stage of the launch vehicle. Hindustan Times newspaper states that launch of PSLV C61 vehicle mission could not be accomplished, ISRO chief. This was the 63rd flight of the PSLV and the 27th using the PSLV XL configuration. The Indian Space Research Organization ISRO 101st mission aimed at enhancing the country's land observation abilities could not be accomplished on Sunday morning due to the anomaly in the third stage. Today, we attempted a launch of the PSLV C61 vehicle. The vehicle is a four-stage vehicle. The first two stages performed as expected. During the third stage, we are seeing observation. The mission could not be accomplished. We are studying the entire performance. We shall come back at the earliest, ISRO chief V. Narayan said via the space agency's official YouTube channel. Low-intensity earthquake hits Arunachal Pradesh's Dibang Valley. Arunachal Pradesh Dibang Valley was hit by an earthquake of magnitude 3.4 on the May 17 as well. An earthquake of magnitude 3.8 hit Arunachal Pradesh early Sunday morning. Said the National Center for Seismology. The depth of the earthquake was 10 km and it occurred in Arunachal Pradesh's Dibang Valley, according to the NCS. The exact location of the earthquake's epicenter was latitude 29.3' and north longitude 95 degrees 78 minutes east. Earthquake of 3.8 on 18th of May 2025 at 5:06. According to Indian Standard Time, latitude 29.3 degree north and longitude of 95.78 degree east. Depth 10 km location Dibang Valley, Arunachal Pradesh, the NCS said in a post on platform X. Ex-servicemen to protect the vital infra in the Jammu and Kashmir. Ex-servicemen will be deployed at power stations, bridges, government installations and other vulnerable points in all 20 districts. The Jammu and Kashmir government on Saturday approved a proposal for deploying a former military personnel to safeguard vital infrastructure across the Union territory, officials said. Terming it a unique collaboration between veterans and civilian authorities, the officials said 4,000 ex-servicemen volunteers have been identified for initiative and their role in the non-combat, focusing on static guard duties, presence-based deterrence, and local coordination. In a major step towards the strengthening the community-based security and harnessing the capabilities of former military personnel, the Sainik Welfare Board of Jammu and Kashmir had moved a proposal by mobilizing ex-servicemen (ESM) to safeguard vital infrastructure across the Union territory. This proposal has been formally approved by the government, setting the stage for a unique collaboration between the veterans and civil authorities, the official said. NDSA flags concerns over the stability of the Sri Salim Dam. A team of the top officials of the NDSA, led by the chairman Anil Jain, visited the Sri Sailam project site on the 29 April and 30 to inspect the damages caused to the project over the years. The National Dam Safety Authority NDSA has warned of a potential threat to the structural stability of 40-year-old Sri Sailam Dam built on Krishna River. If Andhra Pradesh government does not take damage control measures, both long-term and short-term. A team of top officials of the NDSA, led by its chairman Anil Jain, visited Sri Sailam project site on the April 29 and 30 to inspect the damage caused to the project over the years. In a letter to a special chief secretary water resource to Andhra Pradesh government, G. Sai Prasad, on May 5, The NDSA chairman pointed out various expert committees had inspected the Sri Salam Dam in the last 6 to 7 years. The last one being a joint inspection by a team of officials or by NDSA, Central Water Commission and Central Soil and Material Research Station (CSMRS) in February 24. Unfortunately, the state government has failed to comply with the recommendations made by these experts committees. The scoring of the river bed and rock profile on the downstream side of the dam has potential to compromise the dam's safety. No one is aware about the condition of the measures to protect the rock of facing against scoring, Chen said in the letter, which was seen by Hindustan Times. Former Union Secretary E.A.S. Sharma on Saturday urged Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister and Chandrababu Naidu to take up the restoration works of 40-year-old Sri Sailam Dam built on the Krishna River, while pointing out threats highlighted by the National Dam Safety Authority (NDSA) in its report. If there is any damage to the Sri Sailam Dam, it will have a cascading effect on Nagarjuna Sagar, Pulichintala and Prakasam barrages on Krishna River and result in the catastrophe not only to the people of the Vijayawada and Ghuntar but also the new capital city of Amaravati, as Sharma said in his letter to Chief Minister and Chandrababu Naidu. Social activist Inaganti Ravi Kumar said the government should also initiate stringent action against the officials of the irrigation department who have failed to take up adequate measures to prevent the damage to the Sri Salam Dam in the last 6 years. Both the previous TDP and YSRCP governments are responsible for this present situation in the Sri Salam Dam, he said. Sambal violence. Trial set to begin as court frames charges against 50 accused. 4 people, including 2 police personnel, were killed and several others are injured in the violence, which was sparked by claims that the mosque was built on the site of Hariha Temple. Clearing the way of trial, a local court in Sambal on Saturday framed charge against 50 individuals for their illegal involvement in the violent clashes which erupted in the district during a court-ordered survey of the Shahi Jama Masjid on November 24, 2024. The trial is now set to commence with the next hearing scheduled for May 26, 2025, where the prosecution will present witness testimonies and evidences. 4 people, including 2 police personnel, were killed and several others injured in the violence, which was sparked by claims that the mosque was built on the site of Hariha Temple. The charges were framed in the court of Additional District and Session Judge Ragini Singh, based on the charge sheets submitted by an investigating officer on February 21, 2025. The accused face serious charges under the multiple sections of the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita (BNS), including 109 attempted to murder, 191 rioting, 326 voluntarily causing grievous hurt, and 324 voluntarily causing hurt. The charges were framed followed arguments over discharge applications filed by 4 to 5 defense lawyers on the behalf of the accused. They contended that their clients were not named in the initial FIRs and that they were wrongfully detained by the police without credible evidence. The prosecution's argument, backed by the visual and documentary proof, led the court to reject all discharge applications after hearing both sides. The violence in the Sombala court carrier area broke out during the protests against the court-ordered survey of the Shahi Jama Masjid, prompted by the petition claiming a Hari temple stood at the site of the mosque. So far, 80 individuals have been arrested and sent to jail in connection with the incident. Bail applications for accused have been consistently rejected by courts. As the trial moves forward, the prosecution is preparing to present in this case, including witness testimonies and collected evidences, which will play a critical role in determining the fate of the accused, Saini said. The court's final verdict will hinge on the strength of this evidence and arguments presented by the both sides, he said. Now, going towards the economy of the country from the Indian Express point of view, inside an election or time, government social media cell that was converted to a 24/7 war room post Operation Sindoor. It is worth noting that Access Government Affairs handle, which posted about by blocking orders, was also later blocked in India for a brief period before being restored. India's Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri sent with the Indian Army officer Colonel Sophia Qureshi left and Indian Air Force officer Wing Commander Vyomika Singh Wright addresses a press conference after India struck multiple sites inside the Pakistani-controlled territory with the missiles under the Operation Sindoor. The 15 to 25% correction in frontline indices during the October-February rendered evaluations are more reasonable. Axis AMC MD Gop Kumar. Axis AMC MD and CEO B Gop Kumar expects private capex to pick up from the second quarter of the current financial year. Axis AMC MD and CEO B Gop Kumar, who manages assets worth rupees 3.32 lakh crore, says that at a growth of the rate of 6 to 6.5%, India remains the fastest growing economy among the major global economies. B. Gop Kumar, Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the Axis Asset Management Company, says that the 15 to 25% correction in frontline indices between the October 2024 and February 2025 has made domestic market valuation more reasonable. In an interview with the Hitesh Vyas, Gop Kumar, who manages assets worth rupees 3.32 lakh crore, says that at the growth rate of 6 to 6.5%, India remains the fastest growing economy among the major global economies. He expects private capex to pick up from the second quarter of the current fiscal year, edited expert says. Suez Canal offers 15% discount to cargo ships. Will vessel return to the Red Sea route after the United States Houthi ceasefire? Suez Canal discount transit fee 2025. While the Red Sea security crisis hit traffic and revenue for the Suez Canal, it also led to higher shipping costs as the vessel go around Africa, extending voyage durations by 10 to 14 days and a fuel burn significantly, leading to higher freight rates. With much of the cargo movement rerouting away from the Suez Canal, its revenue crashed to around $4 billion in the 2024 from $10.3 billion in 2023. Egypt's Suez Canal Authority (SCA) is offering a 15% discount from May 15 on transit fee to cargo ship of minimum 130,000 MT capacity, underscoring the impact that the Red Sea security crisis has had on the waterway, critical to the shortest maritime route to the Mediterranean Sea and beyond from the Arab Peninsula, Northeast Africa, and Arabian Sea. Earlier, Ruby also reached out to 25 major shipping line operators and maritime agencies, urging them to gradually return their vessels to the Suez Canal. Citing the positive development towards the return of the navigation in the Red Sea, this came 3 days after the United States President Donald Trump announced that the Iran-backed Houthi militia had agreed to ceasefire in the Red Sea. The Houthis maintained that Israel-flagged and linked ships are not a part of the agreement with the United States, and they will continue to be targeted. In the month of November 2023, Yemen-based Houthi rebels, backed by Iran, began targeting commercial vessels that they believed were linked to Israel and its key allies in response to the military offensive in Gaza. This crisis prompted the world's major container lines to divert their ships from Red Sea route and navigate around the Cape of Good Hope, with much of the cargo movement rerouting away from the Suez Canal. Its revenue crashed to around $4 billion in 2024 from $10.3 billion in 2023. This discount offer seems to mean more to bring the container ships, also called the box ships, back to the Suez Canal. Bulk carriers and tank ships were diverted from the Suez Canal, but these box ships are a major source of the revenue for the SCA, said Anil Devoli, CEO, International Shippers Association. Importance of Suez Canal. The Suez Canal accounts for nearly 12 to 15% of the global trade, according to IMF data, International Monetary Fund data. Nearly 30% of the global container traffic flowed through the Suez Canal before the Houthi attacks began. It is also a key passage for 8 to 9% of global energy flows. As of the May 11, 2025, Suez Canal's daily transit trade volume (TTV) stood at 48 lakh 4,137 MT, compared with the 30 lakh 49,086 MT at a year ago, shows the data from the Port Watch and live conflict tracker maintained by the International Monetary Fund and Oxford University (TTV). And to notice the total volume of the goods transported through the shipping route, daily TTV stood at 11 lakh 52,600 mean MT as of May 11, 2025 at the Bable Mandip Strait, compared with the 11 lakh 92,116 MT a year ago, according to the Port Watch data. The monsoon's green energy potential from the Hindu Science and Tech. Monsoons are strong drivers of climate. Their cool, gusty winds can be predicted and modeled just as rains can be. A view of solar panels and wind turbines installed at Adani Green Renewable Energy Plant in Khavda, Gujarat, October 2024. As the sweltering heat of summer reaches its peak, our thoughts turn towards the approaching rainy season. Data collected by weather stations and rain gauges for over a century tell us that this season begins with the arrival of the southwest monsoon over the Kerala on June 1st, give or take a week. Weather forecasting has become more accurate in recent years, and it is predicted that the monsoon will reach Kerala around May 27 this year. Southwesterly winds traveling over the Indian Ocean along with the strong air currents traveling over the Arabian Sea from East Africa. The Solmi jet stream carry moisture to our plants, refreshing our senses and lightening our moods. Can molecules store data? Scientists have known for some time that biological matter can pack in for more information for some volume. In the last couple of decades, the amount of physical space required to store digital data has plummeted. 100 GB hard drive used to be a bulky contraption. Today, a USB drive smaller than the finger can hold more data. This development owes itself to advances in the electronic engineering. But despite how good engineers have become, nature remains ahead. Scientists have known for some time that biological matter can pack in more information for same volume. For example, DNA, the supermolecule that contains our genes, is expected to be able to hold more than 200 petabytes of data per gram. Scientists have reason to believe such a biological storage is also more energy efficient and resilient against the physical shocks. CBSE asks schools to set up sugar boards to monitor students' sugar intake. CBSE has noted that there has been a significant increase in type 2 diabetes among the children, and condition was primarily seen in adults over the past decades. CBSE has directed schools to establish sugar boards to monitor and reduce the sugar intake of the children. The CBSE has directed affiliated schools to establish sugar boards to monitor and reduce the sugar intake of children, according to officials. This alarming trend is largely attributed to high sugar intake, often due to the easy availability of the sugar snacks, beverages, and processed food within the school environments. The excessive consumption of the sugar not only increases the risk of diabetes but also contributes to obesity, dental problems, and other metabolic disorders, ultimately impacting children's long-term health and academic performances, the CBSE said in a letter to school principals. India requires a social model of epilepsy care within the school's health program, experts says. Early results from the pilot study in Punjab to introduce epilepsy care into the school health systems found that the teachers reported greater comfort in managing seizures. Parents showed improved follow with the referral, and more children with the suspected epilepsy enter the former care system rather than the filing through the cracks. A social model recognizes that the epilepsy care should also consider the social, environmental, and structural influences that impact individuals with the epilepsy. Studies show that about 10 million people in India live with epilepsy. A significant portion of these cases, over 60%, begin in childhood, according to the study published in the Lancet. A 2021 review conducted by the World Health Organization and UNESCO, which evaluated 87 school health interventions across the Southeast Asia, found that none of these programs addressed epilepsy. This omission is particularly concerning in the Indian context, where the epilepsy is officially recognized as one of the 23rd health conditions concerned covered under the Rashtriya Bal Swasthya Karyakram (RBSK). The country's flagship national school health initiative, the stark disconnect between the policy and practice, stresses the need for the better systematic measures to address the chronic neurological conditions with the existing child health framework, says experts. Despite its official inclusion, epilepsy is rarely identified or followed up during the school health screening. Unlike conditions such as anemia, vision problems, or nutritional deficiencies are routinely addressed in the school ecosystem. Epilepsy remains off the radar for most frontline health workers and educators. The result is a missed opportunity for early detection, intervention, and long term support for the thousands of children. Cause of pesky failure mode in the solid state. Lithium ion batteries found. While these batteries are safer to operate, they have a tendency to short circuit, where even with the small currents, new research has found the answer in the dendrite growth. A batch of lithium ion coin cells being tested. Scientists have reported in Science that the key to fixing solid-state battery SSB failures may lie in the well-documented mechanical laws paving the way for longer operational lifetimes. A battery consists of an electrolyte sandwich between the positive cathode and the negative anode. In most batteries, including lithium-ion batteries in your cell phone, this electrolyte has a liquid solution very similar to salt in water that allows ions to move back and forth from the electrodes, said Naga Pani Aitukuri, an associate professor at the Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. Not involved in the new study, his team is among the top groups in the Indian developing SSBs. Now, at last, there's a famous personality of India who's known by his famous name Rabindranath Tagore. Born on 7 May 1861 up to 7 August 1941, was a Bengali polymath who worked as a poet, writer, playwright, composer, philosopher, social reformer, and a painter of the Bengali Renaissance. He reshaped Bengali literature and the music as well as the Indian art with the contextual modernism in the late 19th and early 20th century. He was the author of the profoundly sensitive, fresh, and beautiful poetry of Gitanjali. In 1913, Tagore became the first non-European to win a Nobel Prize in any category, and also the first lyricist to win the Nobel Prize in literature. Tagore's poetic songs were vivid as a spiritual and mercurial, which his elegant prose and magical poetry were widely popular in the Indian subcontinent. He was fellow of the Royal Asiatic Society, referred to as the Bard of the Bengal. Tagore was known by the sobriquets Gurudev, Kobi Guru, and Biswa Kobi. A Bengali Brahmin from Calcutta with ancestral genetic roots in Burdwan district and Jessore, Tagore wrote a poetry as an 8-year-old. At the age of 16, he released his first substantial poems under the pseudonym Banusimha Sunlight, which were seized upon by literary authorities as short lost classics. By 1877, he graduated to his first short stories and dramas published under his real name. As a humanist, universalist, internationalist, and ardent critic of the nationalism, he denounced the British Raj and advocated independence from the Britain. As an exponent of the Bengal Renaissance, he advanced a vast canon that comprised paintings, sketches, and doodles, hundreds of texts, and some of 2,000 songs. His legacy also endures in his founding of Vishwabharati University. Tagore modernized Bengali art by spurning rigid classical forms and resisting linguistic strictures. His novels, stories, songs, chants, dramas, and essays spoke to topics political and personal. Gitanjali, song offerings, Gouda, Fair-Faced, and Garibari, The Home and the World, are his best known works, and his verse, short stories, and novels were acclaimed or panned for their lyricism, colloquialism, naturalism, and unnatural contemplations. His compositions were chosen by two nations as national anthems, India's Jana Gana Mana and Bangladesh's Amar Sonhar, Bangla. The Sri Lankan national anthem was also inspired by his work. His song Banglar Mati Banglar Jo has been adopted as the state anthem of West Bengal. Rabindranath Tagore says a very famous quotation. He says that everything comes to us that belongs to us if we create the capacity to receive it. He also says that it is very simple to be happy, but it is very difficult to be simple. Okay, thank you.